Stratford upon Avon, birthplace of William Shakespeare, the world's most loved writer, and natural home to a leading literary festival. Over 2 weeks this spring, the Stratford upon Avon Literary Festival celebrated its 4th year with its strongest lineup yet, and record audiences who enjoyed an array of talks, workshops and a family fun day. Over 35 high-profile speakers and performers brought their experiences to the festival, talked about their books and shared with audiences the inspiration for them.
Very sorry that you missed out my greatest achievement. I opened last year the Imrie Village Garden Fete.
But you want them to read everything that you've sent them. That is your aim, because without that, you're going to be putting them in. And so the best chance of making that happen is, number one, to offer a clear, convincing and practical argument why your manuscript will make money, why it will make a profitable book, and secondly, have written a good and sellable book.
It started with looking for role models because I didn't feel old yet, and everybody I met, including a woman who's 100 on Monday, says, you know, I feel 28 inside. And so I just was trying to square what you feel inside with the image you present outside and confront some of the prejudices that young people have about older people. So it started with just let's look at images of older women and just stop and look. It was just about looking at faces and seeing if we couldn't infer from that two-dimensional thing a three-dimensional person with depth, and rather than the sort of very youthful images that we get in the media, you know, onto which we project, I don't know, usually things we can sell through a beautiful face.
Life is one great cycle, it goes round and round, and with atom bombs and warfare, man can't keep his feet on the ground. This is the true story I have found. I was about 12. Technology builds our world with manpower employed. They build us an ideal society, but the end is only being decoyed. We don't know that in future war we will all be destroyed. I should have just been out playing football. It continues cycling on and on again. Killing, polluting, it races on, killing another race of men. Where will it all end, you ask? I don't know, it could be now or then. It sort of peters out a bit at the end. It's kind of very sure of itself. And then Simon Armitage's critique reads like this. This is one of Adrian Mole's at his most pubescent.
For many, many members of Parliament, going back to their constituency is going back to their family. You may remember that whenever John Major had a really hard time, the press would say, Mr. Major has returned to his Huntingdonshire constituency. And you got the feeling it was a bit like a child running into the kitchen because life was very hard in school. And I think that's what happened. I think that John Major, having a terribly hard time in his own cabinet, was going back to people he felt understood him, that he'd worked for and with, and that he understood back. It's quite a strong relationship, and it's one that the press never captures in their picture of what it is like to be an MP. And it's really why, at the end of the day, some of us who were, well, I wasn't caught up in, but were aware of the MP's expenses scandal, felt so awful about it. Because all of a sudden this relationship of trust, like in a family, like in a marriage, like between a vicar and his congregation, was suddenly broken, was suddenly semi-destroyed.
And if you'd asked me years ago, would I end my so-called career presenting the quiz show, I'd have laughed at you. What happened was I got a call several years ago now an email from somebody at the BBC saying, would you do Mastermind? Obviously, I emailed back immediately saying, you're kidding. Sit in the Mastermind. Oh, joking. End of conversation. A few weeks later, got another one saying, are you sure you won't do Mastermind? And why not? And I said, because I'm not going to make a prat of myself sitting in the black chair. A few more days went by and I got a call from a very distinguished gentleman, the head of Light Entertainment, who said, I'm puzzled. Why won't you chair Mastermind? And I said, chair it.
Ah, no. Ah, fantastic.
Money for old rope. No, I didn't really think that, but anyway, I said yes. And I tell you what, it's wonderful. It's the great thing about Mastermind. If you've been a political hack as long as I have, interviewing politicians all the time, mostly interviewing politicians, the great thing about Mastermind is, or any quiz show, you know that you're asking questions of people who want to answer them.
I'm grumpy because despite using tampons for 30 years, I am still not proficient at ice skating, parachuting or scuba diving. What makes me grumpy is when I'm waiting for a car parking space, a person goes into their car and you think it's becoming available, and then they sit in the driver's seat and take out their sandwiches. That makes me really, really angry. Genuine optimism. Sometimes things don't go after all from bad to worse. Some years muscatel faces down frost, green thrives, the crops don't fail. Sometimes a man aims high and all goes well. A people will sometimes step back from war, elect an honest man, decide they care enough they cannot leave some stranger poor. Some men become what they were born for. Sometimes our best efforts do not go amiss. Sometimes we do as we meant to. The sun will sometimes melt a field of sorrow that seemed hard frozen. May it happen for you.
There's some things called dopey names like Tall Boy and whatnot and Davenport. Just like she wanted the whole family to be wearing crinolines and living in La La Land or something. Like if you take the kitchen, just for example, she's got this folksy dresser thing that takes up nearly all of one wall, and it's got these rows of flowery plates and jugs and blah, like from those kind of places in England where they used to make little kids work in factories, grinding up bones to put in the clay. And then they all got poisoned from the lead and the mercury, or they used to fall into the kilns and burn to death. And it's nearly all stuff they never even actually used. It's just for sitting there looking ye oldie.
Yeah, the whole thing, the whole EastEnders is like a great big family, and I was really sad to go because I went there for 6 months and finished up there for 2 years, and you become a part of this extraordinary machine, and it's like a relic of the past because there are in fact I don't think there aren't any of the programs that used to be made by the BBC in a certain way, in a certain style, that developed over the years, and so with the privatisation and the breaking up of the big television companies, it's all become little productions within this great big parent company, and it's nothing like it used to be. And EastEnders is a kind of a relic. It's a sort of a bit of a working museum piece, and you slot into it. You're an actor. You're just another function within that great big thing that involves about 500 people that churn out this amazing number of episodes every year. And I was talking to somebody earlier on about it, in that it's one of the most extraordinarily well operations I've ever had anything to do with. I mean, you can imagine it's got to turn out 100. It's 4 episodes every 10 days comes out of it. So hundreds of hours of television.
And in glorious spring sunshine, we enjoyed a day of children's authors and illustrators in the grounds of Compton Verney Art Gallery.
The chicken. slipped on the banana, and laid an egg.
And I'm going to hold up the pictures. Shall we do that one first? The super scooter?
She thought it looked quite easy. She went up, she went down, she even tried to do a trick on it.
Never let me see you doing that again. What does my brother do while my dad's doing that? He's got in behind my dad. And while my dad's going like that, my brother's poking his head out from behind my dad, going, never let me see you do that again. So I'm looking up at my dad. I'm going, right, yeah, no, sorry, Dad, yeah. And then I suddenly see my brother's face poking out the side, you see, going, never let me see. Sorry, Dad. My dad sees me laughing and he goes, and it's no laughing matter. My brother knows that one as well because he's going, and it's no laughing matter. My dad's not stupid. He knows something's going on, but he's not quite sure what. He looks round and there's my brother going, it's no finger there.
The festival's expanding education programme rounded off with a unique schools collaboration on the theme of dreams and wishes.
It's a dream come true. Year 3 from Bishopton Primary School are going on a trip to an ancient castle.
Tonight rounds off 8 wonderful days. We've entertained a Baroness, a Dame, the odd diva, a smattering of egos, and some truly lovely, lovely authors and celebrities. We've taken over Compton Verney on a sunny Sunday and entertained children with gruffalos, circus entertainers, and a sunflower stilt walker whose sunflower turned to a sail in the wind yesterday. And every moment of it has been fun and rewarding.
In just 4 years, the Stratford-upon-Avon Festival has established itself centre stage as a leading player in the world of books and writing. And in the years ahead, we'll be building on those foundations to be recognised nationally and internationally. Come and share in our success.